on Shipwreck, but it looks like we are going to be going into Mammoth. It is going to be game 1 of the grand finals. It's going to be LDZ versus Twilight.
If he was on Shipwreck, I would like to see a lot of the edge guarding that he's been doing. I wouldn't like to see him trying to kill off the top, because that gigantic kill box off the top, it just, you really have to put a ton of damage off of somebody, or they have to be really, really high in the air before you can kill them off the top. And with the level that, the physical level that LDZ has been playing at, he's mostly staying 1 to sometimes 2 jumps off of the stage. But with Shipwreck, if he stressed the edge game with that small edge, then I would like to see him really do the edge guards. Otherwise, I think Mammoth is the best way to go.
That's what I was kind of thinking about. I'd like to see him push that bow edge guard game, but we're seeing him actually kind of stick to this sword, try to win out in the sword and mirror. So far, they've been trading back and forth, but Twilight, he remembers the consistency he had with those side sigs to outspace LDZ and catch him with a side sig for the first stock.
LDZ, I think he's used those side signatures now to kill, I think, a total of 3 times onto LDZ. He's just been timing it so well that he's been watching LDZ's jumps, and the second that LDZ comes into his range, he knows the timing and he throws it out.
LDZ, though, you're seeing him kind of struggle to finish off this stock of Twilight. He threw out the down sig, but Twilight was still invulnerable just outside of it. LDZ, he's going to get 1 Sair, but once again, if he can't get the Gimps, he kind of struggles to get kills.
And it still seems like he's a little bit afraid to edgeguard on Twilight. I don't know if it's because Twilight is staying relatively high on that side wall, so LDZ is just waiting for him to kind of peek over, and then he's going to throw out a move, but if that's the case, then Twilight is 100% mind gaming him there and playing that the best way he possibly could.
LDZ, he is able to finally pick up that side air. Recognizes that Twilight really doesn't have a whole lot of options in that particular situation, and is able to pick up that side air to finish off the stock. But Twilight, he's kind of just controlling the pace of this game once again. Got the sword.
It's a very solid lead. Twilight looks, I don't want to say confidently ahead, because against LDZ, something can change in any second, but Twilight was, he had a solid lead. It was a comparison of white to orange on the second stock, but LDZ with that neutral sig, he's brought it back almost dead even.
Actually he's taken the lead as he's knocked Twilight into the red. He's got Twilight on the edge. Twilight once again running out of options, and that's where LDZ is able to control it and get the side airs to finish off this stock. That is going to be the second kill going the way of LDZ.
And with this control, LDZ, it doesn't seem like he cared too much about having weapon advantage control, because he didn't try to weapon starve. He didn't necessarily try to aggress too quickly after he spawned, but he has airspace control right now for sure.
He's got the juggles. Twilight gets the down air. He's looking for the side sig. He remembered, but it was not able to connect. LDZ, he's got to respect the hammer. He remembers that Twilight can get those hammer gimps. If LDZ makes a mistake, you know Twilight's thinking about the recovery. You know he's thinking about it. There's one. It doesn't connect.
And I think LDZ was just waiting for the recovery. He was kind of staying a little bit above Twilight, not necessarily enough to put him in danger of getting hit by the hammer recovery, but close enough to respond with a bow ground pound if he needed it, because Twilight is very red right now.
Ooh.
And
oh no!
Twilight,
did he just kill himself by taunting?
Twilight making the biggest fool of himself.
I don't have words.
I don't either.
I really don't. LDZ gets the win in that one. Twilight goes down, but now that we're in, I believe this is game 3, Twilight had the weapon control. But we've got bow versus sword again.
I think Twilight, I mean, what? How do you even, that's personally, that's embarrassing. I mean, chances are he probably would have lost, but I mean, you really never know. He's been able to turn things around very quickly before. That's just a strange misstep that you're gonna make in the finals of this.
If getting that gravity cancel taunt is enough that it's gonna fire you up more, it's gonna give you that morale boost, give you a smile on your face, I guess it's worth it. But LDZ is gonna take the first stock off of this game 3.
And their Twilight, or LEZ is actually gonna finally strip the field. There's just a bomb. He's gonna, I guess, use that as a trap. Not really worried too much about the bomb. He's still sticking with this bow. He's been doing more work with it. Following up for the edge guard there. Twilight coming in with a recovery. There is another recovery.
Gotta worry about the third one. Oh! Not able to pick up that recovery. LDZ is gonna survive. We're seeing him switch it up. He's got the sword to try to answer back to Twilight, but Twilight might have the sword mirror. I think LDZ doesn't want to play sword against Twilight's sword, whereas Twilight wants to.
And LDC's been actually really good. I don't know if you just noticed the sword weapon throw. He's been doing the downlight stare into the weapon throw so much.
Ooh.
Very close.
Was that supposed to be a dare?
Maybe. I don't know if he was hoping that his fist would touch the wall and the fist bump would reset his jumps. I'm not sure. I think a dare probably would have sent him too low.
Okay. Regardless, he ends up falling down. He comes back, gets a nice downlight side air to take off the stock from Twilight. Meanwhile, Twilight didn't really take the stock opportunity to clear the board. He was just kind of doing ground pounds and recoveries on the right side. He comes back, he's got the unarmed, and he's gotten 2 ground pounds on the LDZ, but he is a stock behind.
With that stock behind. Yeah, I mean, he's behind in the health now. Now he's getting juggled into the air. And what is he doing? He's going for those ground pounds into the gravity cancel neutral sig? What is
he tilted? Has he tilted himself?
I don't know. I don't actually know what is happening right now. Twilight looking so strong coming into this set. LDZ coming from the lower bracket after already losing to Twilight. Then Twilight gimps himself with a taunt and then just goes after that. Just does that. I mean, he was a significant amount behind. I think he might be tilted right now.
Well, here we are. This is actually game 3. Twilight, we're seeing him start to play a little bit more paced. He's trying to slow it down now. But LDZ is not going to give him really any room to breathe as he gets a nice side sig and the side air follow-up. And I don't know if Twilight is just furthering that hole that he has dug, but this is looking troublesome as LDZ is looking for the reset and wants to win it out in the grand finals.
There are moments where it looks like Twilight is just like,
nice
I'm done. I'm totally done with this. I don't care anymore. But then there are moments like this where he's absolutely has a chance to bring it back. Like we saw him do it earlier. We saw his offstage hammer play earlier, easily turn it around with just 3 hammer recoveries, and that was it. That's all it took.
We're seeing this is a more paced Twilight. This is something we saw a little bit earlier with the Crocky. Baits LDZ down, picks up the recovery, gives a salute, and he makes sure it's on the stage where you cannot fall. That's called adapting, people. That's how you learn from your mistakes.
I can't believe LDZ stayed in hammer recovery range for so long that low. Like, I actually can't believe that. He was in there for a solid second and a half. And, like, you had to think that he would know it was coming at any moment.
I mean, he had to have had a gimp in mind. Gets a nice down air to finish off that stock from Twilight. Gonna be clearing the board, but there's still a weapon as Twilight has the hammer. And are we gonna see him go to the edge? Gonna have to build up a little bit more damage before he can start thinking about that recovery. But he is putting his back to the edge.
Is Twilight trying to rush a Mafia?
It
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he's trying to do because LDZ just got the bracket reset.
That was a quick and clean bracket reset, and we're going straight back into it. It looks like the map pick is Mammoth all day, every day. This is a 24/7 Mammoth server because Twilight just goes straight back into Mammoth. And here we are. This is after the reset. It is going to be game 1. LDZ has to win a best-of-5 set. Twilight has to win a best-of-5 set in order to win it out in this grand finals.
I can't believe what's happening today. Just the change that LDZ has had, and then the change in Twilight that has just happened in the past few games alone is just completely mesmerizing.
We're seeing LDZ, he's coming more alive. As the set progresses, as time progresses, he's just going more and more in. He gets the Sair, Twilight's dead, and LDZ is looking so incredibly strong right now. But there's just too many weapons. He cannot clear all of them.
And it's weird to see LDZ make that just shift into, I'm not going to edge guard at all. Okay, I'm going to edge guard a little bit. Okay, I'm going to edge guard a lot. I'm going to initiate my edge guards on stage. I'm going to start a combo on stage, throw a weapon, and then I'm going to follow up myself after the weapon, and then I'm going to go very, very deep on you. And it's just insane to see that transition that LDZ has and have that really lead to his victory.
It's just kind of been that ramp up. Twilight saluted. LDZ's not dead. That will give the kill. And this time, once again, he is going to salute. And I want to point out that he's doing it on stage.
Twilight is doing a pretty good job adapting to this change from LDZ. I mean, he did just lose the 3-0 set, but he's doing a better job now. He isn't too far behind. He's looking to do damage onto LDZ. LDZ's starting to get into the orange. Meanwhile, Twilight is red. That's the first signature in a while that we've seen LDZ miss.
And Twilight got a punish off of it. I think that's specifically why Twilight or why LDZ really hasn't been throwing out a whole lot of signatures. He waits for the punish opportunity. Unfortunately, he missed the punish, but it's specifically he doesn't want to get counter punished. Nice neutral sig to pick up onto Twilight. He's got the stock advantage, but he did lose a lot of the health advantage in just a second ago.
A clash right there. Those clashes, it's just that halts LDZ from doing anything more. But when you're behind, a clash is basically like you're losing. You are still losing. You might be narrowing that gap a little bit if you're like a Queen Nai or something like that. But for right now, that's Twilight losing those clashes.
I mean, he can't afford to trade essentially, even though he's got the defense advantage. Trades like that end up working out in LDZ's favor as he gets a downlight into a nair. He just saved Twilight because he's not done killing him. He's not done. He's not done. But Twilight gets up. He's got the weapon. There's a mine. It's gonna land down.
That was so clean from LDZ. Those tech chases all the way. He's been doing so good with those really, really far off stage ground pounds, like past the push-off column, because he's been expecting Twilight to go there every time. That's usually where players will go. They anticipate either the on-wall or the push-off column, but LDZ has been doing such a great job. He's hit Twilight with that more than a few times, and LDZ, his flow, his movement, everything he does, it's like water.
He's really, like, I know we were complimenting it earlier. There was a while there in the upper finals, the lower finals, where it was a little awkward. It wasn't as smooth of gameplay. We weren't seeing the LDZ that we really know he can bring out. But now that we're in the grand finals, he's found that pace, he's found that flow, and there is a torrent that is coming down onto Twilight right now. Ground pound.
And there's another one.
There.
Far past the
Needs a little bit more.
He immediately follows up with it. He doesn't wait. He doesn't delay it with a jump into the ground pound where it's readable. He just immediately runs off stage and straight does it.
It takes advantage of the way that the bow ground pound works. It's got a pretty stacked hitbox. So if you hit the ground pound stacked, it turns into a rest and it sends your opponent flying. If LDZ can just position himself to be stacked on his opponent, then the ground pound will connect as he gets a big juggle onto Twilight, send him into the sky, but Twilight gets back down safely.
Can we talk about how that was almost a clean stock? Like, that was almost a legitimate clean stock that LDZ
it was pretty.
Took on Twilight. And there's another bow ground pound. He's been so quick with those. He can legitimately get a 3-stock here.
He is in the orange, he's not gonna get caught.
This isn't like, oh, 3-stock dreams when someone's in the deep red and someone's coming in fresh on their last stock. There is a legitimate 3-stock here!
Got the 3-stock in game 2 in the grand finals. After the reset, we're going back in.
I know people in chat are surprised that I think that I think LDZ is so good and that I've been talking about how great LDZ is, that's because LDZ is an incredible player. Look at what just happened. He just 3-stocked Twilight in grand finals of this BCS in a 1v1.
LDZ is looking real strong. Twilight, this is the first time since the reset that he's had the health advantage over LDZ. Got the weapon control, the spike ball interrupting that weapon control for a little bit as LDZ picked that up, or sorry, Twilight picked that up. But LDZ has yet to pick up a weapon and Twilight's taking full advantage of it.
Here's that bow. If Twilight goes off stage, he knows he's in trouble. He's been so consistent with these bow ground pounds, with these bow edge guards, with this offstage bow play.
Where do you position against this bow? Off stage, LDZ's commanding it. He's got the Sairs, he's got the dares, he's got the ground pounds. In the air, he's commanding it with the nairs and the recoveries. Where do you position against this bow?
I was about to say maybe you go really, really high in the air, but you saw him just almost completely nair juggle Twilight. But the answer to your question, nowhere. You're nowhere is safe.
You are dead if LDZ's got a bow. But Twilight, he had an answer earlier on in the tournament. A nice downlight Sair. He's positioning. Can't quite get the ground pound. LDZ tries to turn it around. That bow toss.
Are you kidding me?
That bow toss was beautiful.
LDZ was looking for that the entire time. That's why you saw him jump forward, wait a little bit, kind of look back, jump forward, wait a little bit, look back, jump forward. You saw him looking for that opportunity every single jump that he made.
Somebody take a picture of that bow toss and frame it, because that was gorgeous. LDZ ground pounding, not able to finish it off.
Don't get a cheapo like Walmart imitation wood frame. You go to like a painting store and you get them to custom make a frame for that.
LDZ's done it. That is
that
three.
It? That is literally it right there. Are you kidding me?
Cleaned it up. I don't know if it was Twilight tilting himself after he died, holding a taunt, but LDZ just was on fire throughout the entire grand finals. He has done it. He made the strongest run through the upper bracket, meets the wall that is Twilight, goes down to the lower bracket, and gets a reverse 3 games against Pugsy, goes into the grand finals, and basically 6-0s Twilight.
I mean, we've seen